Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Elizabeth Transu. Well, on this day 50 years ago, American astronauts made history, men setting foot on the moon for the very first time. To start our 5:30 evening news, we hear from 3 Great Falls residents who remember that historic day like it was yesterday.
What happened on July 20th, 1969?
50 years ago.
I'm 59 3/4.
So I was 11.
I was 21.
Man walked on the moon.
We all jumped in the car and drove over to one grandparent's house in another town because they had the color television.
I was in an Army aircraft maintenance unit in Quy Nhon, Vietnam. I was in the Air Force mess hall, and as I walked in, it came over their speaker system.
Either watching on TV, listening on the radio, or even feeling it.
So I grew up in Orlando, Central Florida, and when growing up there, when Walter Cronkite would do his his countdown to takeoff.
Engines on, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We'd run outside into the street where we could actually feel the rockets through the ground.
Liftoff, we have liftoff.
And then we could see them all the way up to the first stage separating.
A moment that transcends time.
My parents said, girls, this is history. You're going to see man walk on the moon, something we never dreamed we'd see.
And to see Neil Armstrong come down the ladder, to hear the radio transmission, the Houston Tranquility Base, the Eagle has landed.
What I remember most was them saying and the Eagle has landed, and everybody in the mess hall very excited, along with me.
And of course, hearing those famous words from Neil Armstrong.
When Neil Armstrong said, "One small step for man, one
giant leap for mankind."
Oh, it was exciting. It really was.
Here, men from the planet Earth, first step foot upon the moon.
I don't know how it could be anything but that.
We didn't know what that meant until now.
Beautiful, just beautiful.
Looking back 50 years later, I still get a thrill.
In Great Falls, Casey Herman, MTN News.
It's so cool to see that footage. It's really amazing.
I mean, it's crazy to think how far technology has come in
Yeah.
50 years.
Really, that was a cool story, and you have even cooler things to share with us about that day.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the weather on the moon. I mean, get a little nerdy here. There's actually no atmosphere on the moon. So, I mean, when it gets hot there, it gets really hot, and when it gets cold, it gets really cold. So the moon actually has 13.5 Earth days of daytime and 13.5 Earth days of nighttime, and during daytime temperatures can get as high as 250 degrees Fahrenheit, and during nighttime they can get as low as 250 degrees below zero. So the lunar landing was during moon's dawn because that's when it was obviously not so hot and not so cold, and of course their spacesuits really kept them safe as well. But looking towards Montana weather now.